first of all, I want to say thanks to everybody involved, administrators and staff, to getting the CCHA back up and running. I know I'm, the seventh guy to say that thing, but it's true. And the work that Don and yourself and Dean and Kevin have done up to this point has been really impressive. One of the things that we talked about throughout the process of restarting and rebranding the CCHA was making sure that we did things the right way as a conference. And there's no question that from day one, with the hiring of Don and yourself and Kevin and Dean now, everything's been done really, really well up to this point. And I echo the statements of the other coaches in saying that we all are really, really excited to be back in the CCHA and looking forward to a great, long future with the CCHA.
Coach, got to say, love the orange suit jacket that you're wearing today. We'll open it up.
Did Coach Saratori wear his green one today?
I don't remember.
He was supposed to. So
We'll open it up to media, and again, apologize to be repetitive, but people are jumping on and off. So if you are new to the call, please raise your hand with the function at the bottom of the window. Unmute yourself and state your name and affiliation. Quite a few coming in, Coach. Let's start things off with Anthony with the college hockey news.
Morning, Coach. Anthony Travaglio with College Hockey News. When you look at some of the offensive firepower you lost with the group that left after last season, and you sit here and look at what's left on the roster, is Cole Norris one of those guys you're looking at to make up for some of that was lost?
Yeah, I was able to listen to Damon, and I think some of the things Damon said are true here. We had 4 100-point scorers leave our program last year, and that's something that doesn't come around very often. And like Damon mentioned, we take great pride in the development piece here at Bowling Green. And we had a 100-point scorer in Dan DeSalvo 5 years ago. We had a 100-point scorer in Alec Rauhauser, 2-time All-American, and then we had 400-point scorers last year. So we believe in our process and how we do things here, and we believe one of the big reasons that we pursued Cole when we saw he was in the portal was because we believe he's a kid that can help. Obviously the transfer portal is a new thing for college hockey, college athletics, and with the number of people we knew we were going to lose, having a senior class of 10 players, we knew that we needed to try to find some guys as kind of a stopgap, and we certainly believe Cole's one of those guys that can help us, in the short term, get out there, because he's been such a productive player over his career.
Hi, Kevin Langseth just sent in that Tom Saratori did wear the green jacket earlier, so.
Good. So the pressure's on Mike Hastings to wear his purple one after me.
Well, this should be good. Next up, Amanda from the Toledo Blade.
Hi, Ty. Amanda Levine from the Toledo Blade. Just how much does the end of last season with the WCHA quarterfinals loss to Northern Michigan motivate you guys heading into this year?
Hi, Amanda. Yeah, it was, one of the things that we've taken great pride in around here over the past 11 years was, we'd gone 11 straight years with winning a first round playoff series, even when we were from a record perspective, not very good in those early years. And, we won 20 games again last year for the 7th straight year. And last year was the first time we didn't win a first round playoff series, and that stung. And we don't want to talk about last year a lot because we have so many new players and a bunch of turnover. So a lot of these guys weren't even around for last year, and it doesn't mean much to them. But I do know that the players that were a part of our program last year and played in that series against Northern Michigan know that that's not a feeling that sits very well with anybody around here, and it's something that we certainly would choose not to experience again.
Thank you, Amanda. Drew Turhall.
Coach Drew Turhall with the Sentinel Tribune. With you, like you said, you lost about 10 seniors this year on the roster. Is there anyone in particular you're looking to step up to help fill those shoes that left the program last year?
Yeah, and we our losses were at all positions. We lost 5 forwards, and I think we would start with or I believe we would start with Sam Craigs. We were fortunate enough to have Sam come back, and we believe Sam's in a position to have the best year he's had in his career. And so Sam's certainly a guy that we feel like is gonna help up front. And then internally, Alex Barber had a really good year last year, and Alex is back as a senior, and feel like Alex is going to be a great player. And Taylor Schneider had a really good year last year, and we feel like Taylor's in a position to push for those minutes and make up for some of that loss. And then Evan Doherty finished strong, had his best year as a junior last year, and Evan played with Sam and Taylor last year at the end of the year, and it was a really good line for us. So those are some kids up front as older players that we feel are going to help. And then we've got some other guys with experience. We've got we're carrying 17 forwards this year, which is a lot, and we feel like one of the things we've been trying to stress since everybody got back here in August was, yes, we have losses, but we believe that returning players as well as new players. We added Cole, like you mentioned, or that was mentioned before, and we feel Cole can help us offensively. We added Nathan Burke from the University of Minnesota, and Nathan was a productive player for the University of Minnesota for 3 years. We feel like what we've seen early from Nathan is really positive. When we have some other players that maybe didn't get opportunities in their career that have had good summers and believe they're prepared to be in a position to take some of those opportunities. And then we've got some freshmen that have been really good so far. So we've got a lot of guys. We're not going to ask one or two or three people to all of a sudden make up for what we lost. We're going to try to do it by committee, because that's how we've always done it here. We want to get more guys involved in our offense, and we believe we've got some kids on the back end that are going to certainly help us offensively too. So we feel like it'll be that's something that'll kind of take care of itself, because we do, after being on the ice for a few weeks with the guys, we do feel like we're going to have options. But ultimately, when given the opportunity, guys are going to have to take advantage of that. And when we start playing games, they start keeping track of the score and handing out goals and assists, guys are going to have to execute when they're given those opportunities. So we're excited, because there are a lot of players that because we had so many guys that were so good for so long, there's opportunity for a lot of players, and a lot of players are excited about that.
Dave Danis.
Hey, Coach, Dave Danis, 100.3 The Point in Marquette. In taking a look, you lost a lot of players, but a good majority of those players were guys that were, prior to the goofiness of last year, were guys that you were planning on losing and had a plan to replace anyway with your recruits. And it seems that you kind of stuck with the original plan. So how did all of that play out for your team, and in how you were going to try and retain some of those players, or just try and go ahead with the original plan?
It was it's a good question, Dave. That was we went into last year with 10 seniors, so we knew we were going to lose 2 goalies and lose at least 2 defensemen and lose 6 forwards. So it was a large group. And then the NCAA made the decision to allow players to have a COVID year, and so then we started to talk about it. And if we could go back and do it over again, maybe we would do some things differently in how you have the conversations or when you have the conversations. But at the end of the day, those players that left after 4 years did everything that Bowling Green asked them to do. They graduated. We had we've been the highest team GPA on our campus for men's sport for the last 2 years, and I think 3 of the last 4. And so our guys, they did a great job in the classroom, and they did a great job for us on the ice, and they were really, really good people in Bowling Green, and they were great representatives of our program. So it was a difficult time. I don't know what other guys have said up to this point, Dave, but it was hard. It was emotional, because there's really no way you could have all 10 seniors come back, just because that's just too many kids to carry. You don't have enough stalls in the locker room to have that many guys. And then financially, how does it all work out? Are you able to keep a kid on the same money as he was before, and all those kinds of things? And then some kids were ready to move on. We tried to have honest conversations with each player, and the players that we didn't feel like were going to have an opportunity to come back, we wanted to let them know as soon as possible so they could go pursue if they wanted a 5th year at another institution. So we've had guys go on and go to other places, and we wish them the best. And then, we were fortunate that Sam Craigs chose to stay, and we asked some other kids to stay, and they felt like it was in their best interest to maybe go someplace else and see what they could do with an opportunity elsewhere. So it was unique. It was emotional. Like I said, it was difficult, Dave, but it's something that now that you've done it, we believe things happen for a reason. And so it took us the summer to get over it. Now then the new guys start coming back and the freshmen start coming in and you get excited again. Everybody's excited to play. And so we feel really good about where we're at, but you're right. We did plan on losing 10 guys anyway. So we felt like this was going to be a big group, whether it was COVID or no COVID.
Time for one more. A reminder that the Commissioner Don Lucia will be available at the end for questions again. Amanda, you want to finish us off with Ty?
Yeah, hi Ty. Just one follow-up question. Just with the 11 players that left this year, how do you kind of build off of what happened last year heading into this season, and what are the team's strengths?
Well, I would say one of the things we've talked about, the strength of this program every year, Amanda, is the people in the program, and we've talked about that for 12 years now. So we've taken great pride and been very intentional about building this program around the people in the program, not around goals or assists or where a guy played or this, that, or the other thing. We built it around people. And, it starts with, Curtis Carr's been here now in his third year, and Nate Phillips, our hockey ops guy, in his third year. This is my 12th. And then we added Stavros Pascaris as an assistant, and he's a great person and he fits. So we feel great about that. And then the people we bring in, we've told everybody that, last year stung, and we were probably at the end of the day, one win away from, we had a good year. In a difficult time, we had a good year with COVID. We won 20 games again, but ultimately we probably needed to win one more game at some point to give ourselves the opportunity for that good year to be a really good year and make the NCAA tournament. And so we've won a bunch of games over the last 4 or 5 years, but we need to win something, and that's kind of the focus. And the players have been great up to this point. We've really leaned on those older guys that have had a guy like Sam Craigs that saw 9 of his classmates graduate, but now he's all into this. He's got a second senior year and he feels great, and he's all into this senior class. And so we've leaned on Sam to try to, how can we get better? Because that's our focus. Like every year, we try to replace the graduating players or the players who leave with better players. That's the goal. And we want to be better. This team wants to be better than last year's team. And that's the goal. So knowing that that's really difficult. So I would say the focus has been on the people. And then looking at last year, we just feel like we let an opportunity slip away. And I know the players up to this point have talked a lot about wanting to be as close of a group as we can and wanting to be as tight knit as we can. And thankfully it's not something new. If we've been talking about people throughout all these players recruiting process, this is not a new message for them. So it's important that we now kind of lean on that. We've had an opportunity to kind of sort of, without purposefully doing it, kind of reinvent ourselves. We've reinvented our staff because obviously this is my third year, and we've got a new assistant, and then we've got a bunch of new players. So we've kind of reinvented our locker room and done some things and taken the players' input and how do we take it from here to here? That's the goal. So it's been fun, but the players have been great up to this point as far as buying in and making everybody feel like all 28 guys matter.
Ty, thank you so much for your time. We have to move on.
All right, thank you.
Ty Eigner of the Bowling Green State Falcons next up.